The rumour mill has been turning since we learnt that Asia Bibi had been released. Do we have any clearer idea at this hour of where exactly she is and what's being done by authorities to look after her?
Well, Asia Bibi has been released after 8 years from prison, and she is said to be in protected custody in an unknown location in Islamabad. According to prison authorities, she was released from women prison in Multan yesterday in the evening, and she was escorted in high security from the prison to the airport. The people present in the airport said that there were officials from foreign embassies present at the airport to receive Asia Bibi, and then she was flown from the Multan airport to Islamabad. To an air base in Islamabad, where she was reunited with her family after 8 years. At this point of time, she is said to be in protected custody under the security agencies. Earlier, there were reports that Asia Bibi had flown out of Pakistan, but the Foreign Office gave out a contrary statement saying that Asia Bibi has not left the country yet.
Now, the Supreme Court's ruling last week sparked, of course, outrage among Islamist hardliners. What have they been saying this Thursday after this news broke that she was released?
Last week, after the acquittal of Asia Bibi from the blasphemy from the blasphemy allegations, there were protests all over Pakistan, and these protests were led by a hardline Islamic group that had asked the government to reinstate Asia Bibi's death sentence. The protests lasted for 3 days, and at the end of these protests, there was an agreement signed between the government and the protesters. The agreement said that the government is not going to oppose any review petition filed by the protesters against the Supreme Court's verdict, and the agreement also said that that the government will ensure that Asia Bibi does not leave Pakistan before the review petition is heard by the Supreme Court. But after her release yesterday in the evening, there is great anger in the Islamic hardline groups, especially the group that led the protests against Asia Bibi's acquittal. They have threatened the Prime Minister Imran Khan that they are going to bring down his government if Asia Bibi is allowed to leave the country. At this point of time, Asia Bibi is a free person, and under Pakistan's law, the government cannot stop her from leaving the country. But it is this pressure from these Islamic groups that she is being held back in Pakistan, even though her family had expressed the fear of being persecuted by religious extremists if they are not allowed to leave the country soon.
Shahzaib Wala in the capital, Islamabad, thank you very much for being with us here on France 24.